let's talk about the truth mirror. That's when families want to talk. They want to sit down. We having this family meeting and want to talk about everything. But then when you begin to talk and that reflection is shown, there's a shutdown.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it goes back to thine own self be true. And the first person I have to stop lying to is myself. Yes. So if I have stopped lying to myself and then I go to my family to talk with them and they're still lying to themselves, then they normally get angry with you.
Yes.
They get angry with you because what you're doing is it's like a mirror standing in front of them. And now for a minute they see themselves, and before, some people go to brush their teeth and they don't even look at themselves when they brush their teeth. Now here you come with this truth and you're exposing all of this stuff that I'm not ready to look at. See, so then family, they get angry with you. Yeah. And then they start condemning you and judging you and say, she's just, no, she's just a part of your family, okay? And so that's normally what happens when you go to family, and you just become a mirror of what they're not doing. You could start doing great and they're still not doing great, okay? They're still caught up in their addiction, but you're coming out of it, and then you try to go back. What do we want to do? We want to go back and pull some of the family out. But honey, you're a mirror image of what they're not doing.
Yes.
So they're going to get angry with you.
Yes.
And they're going to do a lot of things that hurt, say some things that hurt.
Yeah.
They may even try to convince you that you're not clean when you are.
Woo.
Because they're not clean.
Yes. I totally agree with you, and have experienced my own mirror. And the sad part about that, guys, is when we do that, we're, like she said, our truth is now coming out and we're going back. And it's because we want that relationship with that family.
It's family.
We want family. I think when someone who is in recovery gets clean, regardless of what it is, that's the first thing, you want to share that good news. Hey, guess what? And with that, when you share that, you want to be able to be this new person.
Yes.
This person who is willing to say, you know what? I had to leave that behind, but now I get to be the true me. And the true me means, no, we don't pretend anymore. Yeah, this and that, you remember it, and then there it is.
There it is.
And that family is like, hey, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And then the argument starts.
It's like, did I make it up?
Yeah, the argument starts. And believe it or not, you start to feel somewhat like, okay, is it me? Like, almost like what you're doing is wrong. But I totally agree with you, and you guys have heard me say it 1,000 times, thine own self always be true.
Be true.
You have a right to let your truth shine. You have a right for that truth to come out as someone in recovery, not to hurt that loved one in your family. Hopefully, to guide them in the direction, if they are still in their addiction, to actually come clean and truly get clean. And so you guys can have a healthy family unit.
And just remember this, when you're dealing with your family, remember what it took for you to get clean.
Yes.
Okay?
That's
right. So we have to extend that same grace.
Yes.
And we have to be mindful or aware, Uncle Bob's not ready.
Right.
He's not ready. So I'm just going to love him. I'm going to accept him for who he is. And, he may be sitting out on the front porch with me drunk as Cooter Brown. But I'm not going to condemn him. I'm going to love him. I may slip a question or two in there every now and then just to see if he wants help, because I'm ready to give it to him, but I can't give it to him unless he's ready for it.
Right. So we're not talking about Uncle Bob. Say we're not talking about another family member who's experiencing that family addiction, whether it be drinking or anything. We're talking about that loved one, sister, mother, father, who now I want to do my truth and my mirror. So now I want to talk to mom about some of my hurts and my issues and some of the past and my mirror. So it's not about the other family member who's in recovery or who may be in an addiction and we're trying to get to come to recovery. We're just talking about family. And now we're trying to do the mirror. and some people would say exposing truth. And you get that resistance. And I'm sure there are a lot of you guys out there who have family who may not even be in an addiction, never experienced it in their life, but they were a mother who was not there for you, or who was cruel to you, or beat you, or a sibling who even did that. And now you want to speak your truth. I'm like this, or I went through that, or this happened because of. Now we're shining that mirror. So how does that person relay that, or what do they do when that mirror comes up?
It's very important that you understand what your motives are.
Yes.
Okay. It's very important that you check your motives. You don't have to do it in a group setting. If it's your mother, a lot of times it's a mother, father, someone that you need to confront. Now, I'm not talking about physical abuse, because that's something different, right?
Yes.
But you're confronting a father or a mother. You may want to, you need buy-in, and the goal is that you want them to understand what you've come through, and you want to be able to freely talk about it. So you may start out with, hey, Dad, can I share some of this literature I have? You want to engage them in a conversation.
Yes. Very good.
Okay, because if you go in with blaming and shaming, they're going to shut you down. The defense mechanisms automatically come up to protect themselves, and they're going to start shutting you down and probably saying some things they shouldn't say, and then it turns into a power struggle and argument, and you've gotten nowhere.
Yes.
So you're going to go in and, hey, you want to share parts of your life with them, and then the conversation will roll into, well, this happened to me, and blah, 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 blah. And your mom or dad may say, you know what, same thing happened to me when I was your age. I didn't know any other way to raise you.
Very good.
And then at that point, I'm able to say, you know what, I forgive you for, you did the best you could.
Very good.
And then you can move forward. But now, if it's abuse, you grew up in abuse and those types of things, it's a whole different type of being able to go and say, you hurt me. You got to realize it's not for them, it's for you to get free.
Yes.
And still, you don't want to do it in front of everybody. If it's and you may have, some people take their counselors with them. They do it different ways. But as a counselor, I tell the individual, this is for you. It is not for your mom or your dad, the one that was abusive to you, but this is for you to get free. So we're not expecting a really great response from mom or dad. Let's talk about some hypotheticals they would do. Deny it, different things. But the point is for you to get free and to say, you did this to me. But as of today, I will walk in freedom and truth and joy and peace and happiness. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for sharing.
Yes, I agree. I've heard a lot of different people look at it a lot of different ways, and I've even had some thoughts of my own. I think about, as a Christian, when we get saved, and we begin to read the Bible and we begin to study, and that transformation comes, and then people, even our own family members, will see that change, and they'll be like, oh, well, how'd you get that? And they'll be like, well, let me tell you, or let me show you. And then you go to your Bible and you introduce them to Christ and you lead them through that. Kind of, I use that analogy because it's kind of the same thing.
It is. You got it.
Because you're showing them, hey, I'm living this life. I'm walking this peace path. And because I'm on this peace path, this is how I got there.
You got it.
This is how I got there. So let me introduce you to some things that got me there. And a lot of times it's scripture, 1 John or, Romans 10:9, or God so loved the world. That's and then they grab that for themselves. And then when they grab it, now you two are seated together and you're on the peace path together. That's when the true forgiveness can come in.
That's it.
That's when they can say, hey, you know what, baby? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you can look back and you can be like, yes, Mom, you got it. This is what I've been trying to say to you. This is what I've experienced, and then we're linked together. And I've heard a lot of people, when I use that analogy, a lot of the peers that I work with, they'll be like, is it really that easy? It really is. It really is, because nobody, first of all, wants that bridge, especially when we're talking about family, wants to be separated from family. Family is really, to me, sometimes at the end of the day, I've heard a lot of people say family is all I got.
It's all I got.
It's all I got. So we want the best family relationships that we can have. And I think the mirror, is sometimes what keeps us from having that relationship. Because, you know, first of all, like you said, if I don't like what I see in the mirror, you know, of course we're not going to confront what we don't like, sometimes what we don't like to see. And so you can imagine when we give it to somebody else,
You give it to someone else.
they're not going to like it either.
That's right.
So I think it's great how you brought that. I love that. So you guys, if you're out there and you're having this mirror moment, or you're wanting to go to family and say, you know what? Think about what she said. That was great advice. Or you can think about the other pathway. The main thing is, what I'm trying to get across to whoever's listening is that family is huge. Especially if you're in recovery. You're going to need family.
You need them.
Because that can really be your strongest support.